What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with Liam. And today we are discussing Reacher Season 3, Episode 4. But before we do, a little bit of housekeeping. If you have not subscribed yet, which I guess like 98% of you guys who watch us are not subscribed, that's insane, guys. We have thousands of you watch every episode. Over 21,000 of you actually subscribed, but you guys aren't subscribing. So if you're loving these videos, go ahead and do that. Hit the notification bell so you never miss another episode. We drop multiples a week. And if you're looking for more behind the scenes access, more exclusive access, shout outs on the videos, just being a cool member of the community and helping us with creating these awesome videos, then you can become a member of our Patreon. As for a little cup of coffee, every little bit counts to help us with making these. So we really appreciate all of you. Without further ado, Reacher.
What was the most exciting part for you in this episode specifically? Because mine's not what you'd think.
Okay, interesting. Open loop. I like it. We solved the cure to cancer, and it's not what you think. Or something like that, open loop. For me, the best part of this episode was actually getting to understand what Reacher's motives. Because he's a badass, we understand that. We understand, who he is and where he comes from. But we didn't, as far as I understand, I didn't read the book, so I don't, based on the previous seasons, don't have any knowledge of this case. And so, to be able to dive back in and see the birth of his special investigations unit, to see the beginning of it all, to see him lose his first real person he counted on and cared about, to see him process that and then ultimately think he got his revenge. To me, all of that, I guess ultimately shooting Quinn, the climax of all of that was really cool to see. And to actually see him distraught for the first time in probably a long time, right? Since when was it, Neely got taken or hurt? He was real upset. This is don't fuck with his people. Don't mess with his people, yeah. So that was, for me, Reacher's a badass. Watching him do badass shit and break people and hurt them, that's fun. But seeing more of why he can do that and why he does that, was cool.
For me, it was realizing that his senior, I wasn't paying attention to his rank. Is he an officer or is he enlisted?
Which one?
Reacher's senior.
Reacher's a major, so anybody that's over him would be an officer.
Yeah, but in a department, sometimes you always had Master Chief or something
It's a mutual respect thing, but you still outrank them. They have more time, right, based on rank.
Or warrants or
something. Well, warrant seems to get away with whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, but I wasn't paying attention to his rank. I wasn't even looking for it.
So in the cutback scenes, if I remember correctly, and I love that you guys can help us out with this, Reacher's a major. Not what's her name?
Cole.
Cole is a sergeant first class. Mm-hmm. Then you have the 1-star general that Reacher kind of talks to in the beginning. And then you have a 2-star general who clears him to go do the actual arrest. So there's a couple different people that show up, but everyone above him is usually a general.
The guy he keeps calling on the phone for advice and stuff.
He's a general.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he's who I'm referring to because he was almost like the opposite of Harry in this, but also the same as Harry.
The one who says, remember what I said?
Yeah. That was the most exciting part for me, is getting to see that little clue of why Reacher does the things he does, even though he's such a stickler for rules.
Well, he got the green light. Yeah.
I know, but he's make sure you do it the way I taught you. Mm-hmm. Do it right the first time, make it clean type thing, right? So for me, that was exciting.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a whole lot more, hopefully, later on.
And I would agree. For me, and that ties into what I love, is understanding more of his backstory, his motive, where he comes from and what drives him. And I thought it was kind of interesting. One of my favorite parts of this episode was the boxing lessons. And he's basically you're going to end up homeless, broke, with no money. He's oh, basically you? And he's I'm good at it.
Yeah, I loved it when he's pretty much anyone who's fighting you, it's not going to be cheating because
they're weaker. You're weaker than them.
Yep. He's well, what if they're weaker than me? And he just laughs at him.
Not going to happen.
I love that.
Yeah.
But we got to see his father also super excited to see Reacher taking that kind of interest in him too. You saw that little proud moment, even though he's got all this craziness going on. We've got the 2 freaking maid helper chicks having a good conversation with him.
They're fun.
Yeah.
They're fun. The younger one I trust, the older one I don't.
Ooh, vice versa.
Really?
Yes.
See, the younger one I trust. I think she's stuck in a circumstance she doesn't necessarily like. And she sees kind of Reacher as one, a sexy man, and two, kind of her powerful, like he's powerful enough to get her out, get her somewhere else. Where the old lady, I think, is very stuck in her ways. That's her kitchen. Don't fuck around. And almost probably has like a blind loyalty to that family. She's been with them so long. Which that's why I don't trust her, because I think if anything were to come down to it, the younger one would protect Reacher, the older one would rat him out.
Okay.
What do you guys think? Because we obviously are on very different pages on that one. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments.
I see the younger one, I think more honeypot. That's why.
I don't see... I would think that if I thought that Zachary, the dad, the father of the family, was actually nefarious and evil. I just think he's a really good businessman and saw an opportunity to make more money or brag and got himself caught in a bad situation. And now he's stuck there, like we talked about in the previous episode.
Yeah, but as you also mentioned before, that pretty much all the staff was under Quinn.
So, no, not all of them.
Yeah, I know not all of it, but we don't know the distinction yet.
Okay.
We don't know if those two are part of it as well, because what better information could you get from a housekeeper? They're invisible.
Yeah, they're fly on the wall, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I go down that route.
Yeah, some of the original spy networks and all of that. They were merchants. They were shopkeepers. They were bartenders. They were maids. They were the people that were just behind the scenes doing the work that everyone just ignored all the time, and they were collecting all the information.
Coming from my background, that's why I don't trust her yet. Still don't trust her.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. But for me, the thing that Quinn supplies the family, and maybe you guys, could tell us differently, is like the muscle, not necessarily like the groundskeepers. Like he's not supplying the landscapers and the chauffeurs and all that stuff. He's just the muscle. He brings the muscle. I guess the muscle are the chauffeurs, but
Well, he comes from military intelligence as well, though.
Yeah.
Right? And when Reacher is driving out of that gate to go help Duffy, the groundskeeper looks up at him. And I don't know why that should be important, but they felt it was important to...
They did highlight it, yeah. Interesting.
So that lends a little more credence to why I'm thinking the way I am about the younger one.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was very cool to see his relationship with Cole. One thing that I did finally realize, because we got to see so much more of Quinn in this, is that's the actor from Tokyo Drift. That's DK.
I haven't seen that in so long, I couldn't even tell you.
You remember who DK is, right?
I remember the movie Tokyo Drift. I do not remember anything about it other than there's a white guy who ends up in Tokyo and drifts.
He's the big villain. Okay. Spoiled, rich, Yakuza boss kid, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that was him in this.
Yeah.
And I just made that connection in this episode because I got to see him so clearly. I looked at him, I'm like, why is he so familiar? Why is he so familiar? And then I went to Fast and Furious first. I thought it might have been the dude from the very first one, Tran.
See, I remember that guy. But I probably watched the first one a million times. I was so obsessed with it when it first came out. And then it just started getting worse.
So in the middle of the episode, I Googled it. I was like, I got to figure out who this guy is. Otherwise, it's going to irritate me. That's all I'm going to focus on watching this whole episode is trying to figure that out. So I looked up, and it's the big bad from Tokyo Drift. And so I was like, okay, cool. I can put that at rest now. The way they describe him with the juvie records is he's fucking psychotic.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That part for me made it hard to believe he was actually in the military intelligence fields. Like, what therapists, like, he clearly has a history of a lot of unstable emotional and mental factors. And yet you're going to give him top secret clearance and put him in military intelligence and give him access to government secrets.
That part is a little tough for me. However, they did bring to light the fact that it's so hard to unseal juvie records. That's what they had mentioned.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the secretary kind of got bitched out for that. She's like, hey, it's hard to get juvie records. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That was that whole thing.
Okay. So the government just didn't get his records. They were locked in a jacket when he joined the military, and he was able to somehow keep them hidden forever until the general asked for them, I guess. Okay.
So we'll see. But I don't trust anything he says, because when he's talking to Reacher back then, he's like, look, Cole was in on it with me. Obviously, that was a lie.
Right.
But how much of the other stuff was a lie also? Because really good liars mix truth in with their bullshit, right? And he had mentioned how many higher-ups were involved.
I thought there was some truth to that.
That's why I'm talking that part out,
Yeah.
is to figure out, who do you think could have helped him that's higher up, that's still helping him now? Otherwise, what was the point of bringing that up?
What was the point of giving Reacher 2 bosses? He already has one guy who hands him his assignment, who tells him he needs help, who already is his boss. He's the guy he calls when he needs help. But yet we had some other guy randomly show up and be the boss.
Talking about the Asian guy at the end.
Why was he there? Other than,
He approved the mission
right. But he also, I think, tipped him off.
and could be, yeah.
I think he is one of those people that's directly involved,
Okay.
and he was saving his asset.
Or he was saving himself more so than anything.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I can totally see that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think he's one of them. I think I don't think in the world where one military intelligence guy, even though he was corrupt from a young age and a little crazy, is the only one who saw advantage in making a lot of money giving away secrets. And for him to be able to do it so well for so long, he's got help. He's not doing it by himself. So I believe that part. I think he was trying to throw Reacher with a lot of what he was saying. But yeah, like you said, the best lies are skirt around the truth, right? There's a lot of truth in there, and then it's like you exaggerate the one spot or change the one detail. I don't know, however that would work. But yeah, it just like, what am I trying to say? I don't know.
It was interesting with the other younger dude that he had under him, who was kind of in love with Cole.
Yeah, Tony.
Tony, was that his name? Idiot, young enlisted, right?
Oh yeah,
Surprised they didn't give him a Dodge Charger or something.
that would have been.
Or a Challenger.
Every military member have been like, oh, I know that guy. I went to basic with him. Yeah, he married this stripper. I know him.
54% interest.
Yeah. Yep. He bought a Charger or a Mustang and tried to marry a stripper. Everyone had one of those in basic training.
But when he walks into Quinn's house where Cole went to go arrest him, see him face down on the floor, and he just said, like, you did exactly what I told you not to do, essentially. And I'm like, yep, okay, so that was the only reason that character got introduced, was just to die and help teach a lesson for us. I was disappointed that they killed Cole as quickly as they did, because she could have been fun for a backstory, even more so. But I see why it was really important for this to show, look, he is super emotional and attached to his people and the lengths that he's willing to go. I think she may have been the very first instance of that.
I would think so, because based on the conversation that he has with the general early on in the episode, he's still very much a lone wolf. It isn't until later that he is more brotherhood, more of like, these are my people, these are the family I choose to have, kind of thing.
We also find out that Quinn has a tracker on the laptop.
Ooh, yeah.
And we also learn that Duffy is not as squeaky clean. Well, I didn't think she was squeaky clean to begin with.
Yeah, she was very gray area.
But I didn't realize she would go that far.
Yeah.
I thought she was a better person than she was portrayed at the beginning.
I don't think she's a bad person.
No, I'm not saying that. I said better.
I think morally,
I didn't think she was going to be as morally flexible.
yeah, I get that. Yeah, she lives in worlds of grace. And based on what she's been willing to let Reacher get away with so far, we can see that flexes quite a bit. And yeah, she even said straight out, I'm willing to give up my career and go to prison to make up for the wrong I did, which is, forcing this girl into going to the informant and getting herself captured. And then I thought it was really cool, the little nod from her, superior, where he's like, yeah, you're the girl that I would do that for, right? Like, I wouldn't do that for anybody else, but I do that for you, and I'm right.
Oh, we're going to prison? The old guy about to retire?
Yeah, he basically says, I'd go to prison too.
Yeah,
but
I
for
think
you.
he's going to die.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The moment he said that in the car, I was like, This guy's about to die soon.
Well, I mean, we got a pretty big cliffhanger at the end of this episode, as you guys know. We don't know what's going to happen with the 3 guys in the warehouse and the cops. We don't know yet. No, this was a good episode for backstory and context, and I think it's going to roll into a lot of crazy action now.
So this might be the polar opposite of what we just talked about in Invincible, because these books I have read, and I was okay with this slow episode. So
I think it's a context thing, man. It really is. Because if you understand why it's slow and you're just getting more of what you already know you need, then you can hold in longer. But if you have no idea why you're being dragged through something, you're just like, oh, this right here, this is rough. Yeah.
yeah, that was what I was getting for that.
Oh, the video you sent me about the boys.
Yes.
I knew, so I got the notification. It's a picture of Jared and Jensen standing together. And basically the caption was like, we finally did it. We're back together. Right? And it was all about the boys. So I automatically knew Jared was going to be in the next season. I had no idea they were bringing Misha too. So that was cool addition. Wait, what are we doing? He doesn't get that's so good.
He doesn't care.
No, because it's the boys back together again.
Yeah. But that's a completely different tangent.
So all in all, I think this was a great context episode. We got a lot of backstory. We got to see the actual portrayal of what happened with Quinn and Reacher, why he thinks he was dead. I would think the guy was dead too. We realized, he used the different weapon so he wouldn't get identified. That caliber was 22, much smaller than what he normally would have.
Ooh, real quick. Sorry, I gotta interrupt you, otherwise I'm gonna lose it. I realized why they never told Quinn about Reacher. Quinn never knew his name.
Fair enough.
Just knew him as some big guy because Cole died.
Cole would give him up.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So
That tracks for me.
that's how they closed it off, I think.
I was struggling.
I didn't know if you caught that in this episode or not, and I'm glad I remembered it right before we're done with this.
Yeah, because the first time they see each other is when Reacher's holding a gun to the back of his head. And he has no idea who he is.
Yep.
Until he starts talking to him, and then he realizes, oh shit, I know who you are now, but he doesn't know his name. He just understands how he ties in.
He's got his name tape on, doesn't he? Because he's in uniform when he goes. I made note of that because I see him walking through the snow. I'm like, well, if he's just going to disappear after this, he can't disappear because those are combat boot footprints in the snow that the police would investigate, but they already knew he was there, so that killed that. But just talking that out, I think I had it solved, but realizing that he was in uniform means he had his name tape probably on.
Okay, we'll have to go back and watch that scene just to see.
Damn it. Did you guys catch it?
Yeah, let us know down in the comments below. Appreciate you guys getting all the way to the end of this discussion. Really appreciate everybody who's been engaging down in the comments below, sharing your input. Many of you guys have read the novellas of all of these books. I think it's like 22 that go into it.
I said 27.
27 that go into this.
I think.
Awesome. And I think they're doing a great job of interpreting, like taking it into the film, into TV. Let me know what you guys think, because you have all that context from the actual books. But I'm enjoying watching it. I thought this episode, although slightly slower, gave us a lot of what we needed. And now we're going to go into what I think is going to be a roller coaster of a ride for the rest of this season. A lot of action. I think we're gonna get some Neely next episode.
Almost forgot about her coming back. I can't wait.
Yeah. And let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. As always, my name is Chris. It has not changed yet in 37 years. With me,
Liam, but mine might have.
you guys sleuthing it. I'm gonna go research this guy, find out what his name was.
Don't dox me.
AKA George. I don't know, you're not a George. Anyway, guys, really appreciate you getting here. If you really enjoyed this, we actually have reviewed the entire season so far. You can check them all out right here, as well as some really awesome shows that we also enjoy watching that you can check out right here. And then something that YouTube says that based on your search results, you would really like to enjoy right here. But don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and if you want more access, Patreon link below. $5, cup of coffee, and you get more access, and you greatly help us out with producing these videos for you guys. So that's it. We'll see you on the video. Peace.
Yay.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were, you've already come far.